Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Angela Shurina and I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and it is my job here to bring to you all the best brain body tools to feel a look and do your absolute best. You know, folks, when something starts with a joke or humor or a clumsy situation, the rest of the experience usually is so much better because laughter, jokes, feeling like you just screwed up something. I don't know. For me, it always makes me feel relaxed. Like today I was in the gym and I tried to do handstand and I almost broke myself because I bumped into a machine, and there were like a couple of guys that trying to move the machine, and but then I just felt so relaxed after that. Like I'm like, well, what could be worse now, right? So I could just continue being silly. And also laughter, I think, just kind of a side note, folks, it opens you up and it helps you to unite, to connect with people around you so much better. And also if you do something silly, it makes other people not so anxious or, guarded around you, and they're so much more likely to interact with you. So that's just, one hack. If you feel a little bit tensed, laugh and smile. And today, by the way, if you guessed it, you probably did. That's why you clicked this podcast episode. Today we're talking about recovery and rest, because as I'm learning through my coaching entrepreneurs, very ambitious people who want to get things done, who don't want to just be on constant vacation, but who actually want to be productive and want to move certain things forward to create something in this world, something they're proud of. And a lot of ambitious people, we are quite good at getting things done, but not as good at recovery. And so I feel these days like I'm more of a recovery coach, simply because the things that I help entrepreneurs to work on are all about preventing burnout, managing stress, recovering, sleeping well, learning how to relax and not just, work, and then burn out and having to rest and then again work, and then again burning out. Instead of balancing that go activity with recovery and rest, the most effective, of course, because, entrepreneurs also are the type of people who's like, what's the most effective and what's the minimum effective dose I can get here so I could keep doing other stuff that I love. And a lot of what entrepreneurs love doing in their free time is also not so much on the recovery side, but still go, like going to the gym, or let me try racing car or motorbike, or let me try to do some kite surfing and skydiving. That is not very relaxing for your nervous system, believe it or not, folks. That is still more active, and it actually uses the same dopamine system, the ones that makes you work. So that is the same system that is stimulated by all this activity. And when it comes to rest and digest, that switch, this off button, as I like to call it these days, it doesn't really work this way. It's kind of like stuck in one position. And even when entrepreneurs try to rest and try to relax and do nothing, it's like their mind is still racing and they're still tense, and they can't just sit and enjoy the moment, present, like listening to some music, or watching the waves crash, or looking into the sky and just allowing their mind to wander. Like a lot of entrepreneurs lose this ability to switch between on states, go, and do, and off. Just allowing yourself to relax, to chill, to walk slow. That's why I personally try to condition myself to not always be running after things, but sometimes just taking my time. And if I go for a walk, I don't have to run. I can just walk slowly. I don't have to be the fastest. I can just walk and stop and enjoy. Actually force myself to do that, because we need these moments of idleness or of slowing down, to allow our nervous system to fully recover. So then we can go after our goals again with full power, with our creativity, not feeling like we are stressed, like we are not recovered, like we are on the verge of burning out. That actually makes our creativity much narrower. So studies, research showed that, again, when people are not managing their stress and they are in the state of chronic stress, their brain starts to see a very limited amount of choices. And so instead of expanded creativity, all these amazing, ideas that you might have because of your experience, because of your knowledge, now your database is limited to just things that worked, and you keep doing the same things over and over again, keep driving in the same rut, very often digging yourself deeper into that rut, not being able to get out. And so you either work harder, but nothing really changes, and you don't have the capacity to come up with ideas and solutions that actually will allow you to create something better, that will allow you to work in a more sustainable fashion, getting at the same time better results. By not managing stress, by not allowing yourself to recover, by not learning how to recover, you get yourself into this rut of overworking and going from one burnout to another, not really moving needle in any quality-wise, not moving the needle forward in any different way that actually improves and changes the quality of your life. I hope, folks, this makes sense and you now understand better why it's so essential for you. If you want to create something extraordinary, if you want to create something that your best self is capable of, you have to learn how to recover and how to use this off button more effectively and more often. Part of learning how to recover fast and effectively is, of course, scheduling that off time and scheduling effective off time. Things like enjoying nature. Nature is one of the fastest way to recover mentally and physically. Doing breath work, going for massages, going to sauna. All of these things will help you to recover, your nervous system, the major system that you need to use when you get things done as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as an expert, as a leader. So part one is scheduling those activities, but then part two is eating something and consuming something that is needed to allow your nervous system to switch between fight or flight state and rest and digest state. And that's what I want to cover in a little bit more detail today, because a lot of entrepreneurs I'm starting to work with, well, not a lot, all of them actually, do not have sufficient amount of this compound that our nervous system needs to effectively switch between states, rest and digest and fight or flight. I believe that my recovery is so much more effective than of a lot of other people is because my switch is like almost instantaneous. I literally can be working on something, but then I can look out of the window and for like a minute, I can be completely off, just watching whatever is happening behind that window. And that's where your nervous system actually is also recovering. And the faster that switch happens between fight or flight and rest and digest, the faster and more effectively you recover. Now, again, for a lot of folks, for a lot of entrepreneurs, for a lot of hardworking people, this just doesn't happen. And again, a huge part of it is simply your nervous system does not have the building blocks to make this switch happen. So what is this building block? Acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter, an ester of choline and acetic acid that serves as a transmitter substance of nerve impulses within the central and peripheral nervous system. Acetylcholine is the chief neurotransmitter of the parasympathetic nervous system. Let me read you more about acetylcholine. The rest and digest response. While the fight or flight responses uses mostly norepinephrine or adrenaline in the brain to bring the body into a state of action, acetylcholine is what balances and reduces this response. Cholinergic activity uses acetylcholine to make the body ready to feed and breathe and rest and digest. Acetylcholine is part of so-called parasympathetic nervous system, boosting all activities that should happen at rest. And with rest also comes a higher state of consciousness, selective attention, perception, and memory. Acetylcholine is made of choline that is found in some foodstuff and some supplements that I'm going to cover in a minute. Choline, so what acetylcholine is made of, is used to make the neurotransmitter acetylcholine, and you use this to contract your muscles, which makes you stronger. You also use it for your rest and digest mode, which keeps you out of the fight and flight. Inside your brain, you use it to sustain focused attention, to learn, and to form memories. You also use it to remember that masterclass, by the way, that we did on Wednesday about memory. And I talked there about acetylcholine and the supplement that you need to get to boost it. And I'm going to mention it today too. But, so it's important for rest and digest, and it's important for memory. It's a very important molecule that most of the population is not getting, and maybe that's why people are getting more and more stressed, and that's why people are also losing their memories, and cognitive decline is accelerating. Maybe people just, with all these diets and nutrition strategies and being scared by all the messages and don't eat this and that, maybe that's why people are so freaking just losing everything, losing their shit. Sorry for my French. You also use it to get rapid eye movement sleep, which is a type of sleep that supports creativity and your mental health. So acetylcholine, that is made in choline, that is found in food, is a very important molecule. Now, where can you get it in foods? The richer sources of that molecule, eggs. And in order to get those 450 milligrams for women, 550 for men, you need to eat about 4.2 eggs, as nutrition experts say. It is also found in livers of animals, and most of the people I know aren't fans of livers. In Cape Town, where I am right now, that's actually quite a delicacy, so you can even find it in many restaurants and breakfast shops, brunch kind of places. You can find it in a lot of places, and I was pleasantly surprised. Liver, 1.5 ounces, so about 45 grams of that liver is about 1 egg. So if you want to get your daily amount, you need to eat about 200 grams or about 7 ounces of liver. But I'm talking about daily, not once a week, daily, right? So liver is not doable for many different reasons if you eat that amount daily. Eggs, I personally eat it like it's my job, 3 eggs a day, and then I have some supplement to cover my needs of acetylcholine to really optimize it. But then acetylcholine is also found in fatty animal foods, in things like beans or broccoli, but not in sufficient amounts. You'll have to eat pounds and pounds without eggs if you want to get all the acetylcholine. And because most people do not eat pounds and pounds of whole foods and beans and broccoli and other animal foods, like things like salmon and chicken, people always try to avoid something these days, going vegan or going whatever that might be. And by doing so, eliminating all of the major sources of choline. But again, I want to repeat, probably the only legitimate source for most people is eating enough eggs every day. If you want to get it from food, right? No less than 3 eggs a day, and then the rest you're going to get from your whole food diet. So that's a legit eating pattern that can deliver optimal amount of choline. But even that optimal amount, experts think that it might not be sufficient to optimize and to improve the function of your brain and your rest and digest system. Or parasympathetic nervous system, the mode of your system that allows you to recover, rest, and prevent burnout. Now, not just supplements, right? Because food, like again, I'm a fan of eggs, so I eat them every single day, no matter what, and I eat whole foods on top of that. But for most people, it's just not the case. And so if you're one of those people, you want to look into supplement, and that supplement you're going to get and you're going to stay on it for life. They actually use these supplements with patients who suffer from Alzheimer's and dementia, as I mentioned during our memory masterclass, right? So this supplement is not something new. It's and again, it's found in food stuff. It's kind of like taking your vitamins and minerals. And soon, choline is actually going to be on the list of essential vitamins and minerals, if not yet. And you're going to find it in many multivitamins and minerals, but not yet. So back to choline, that is also important for rest and digest, and that fast switch between on state and off state. So you don't end up being in a situation when you go to bed and you lay in bed and you're still tense, you're still not relaxed, and it's taking you forever to relax, to fall asleep. And you just find it hard to not be on, to the point that you always start feeling fatigued and exhausted. And that's basically, even though you dedicate time to recovery protocols, you still feel like you're just not getting into that deep rest that we also talked about when we talked about the book Stress Prescription. Like that deep rest, it really, really matters. So if your nervous system is not able to switch between, again, effectively states, fight or flight and rest and digest, a lot of functions of your body and your recovery are going to be compromised. So now, to supplements. What are a couple of most effective supplements that are totally safe and you can just start taking them? But unless you take some medications or have some conditions, then of course, talk to your medical care provider, make sure that it all interacts well. Because some medications can actually cancel the effect. And in any case, when you take some medication, you always want to make sure that nothing you take on top of that interacts badly with that substance. That being said, so a couple of supplements that I recommend to almost everyone I work with, alpha GPC. And it has this, funny name, but in the brain, in our nervous system, it is made very effectively into the acetylcholine neurotransmitter, and that allows your nervous system to have every single thing it needs to switch between fight or flight, rest and digest, so you could recover effectively to prevent burnout, feeling always fatigued, and so you can open up your creativity, and you can create also rapid eye movement sleep to open up your creativity even more and to improve your mental health, so you could work more effectively and deliver greater ideas, greater solutions, greater results, right? Alpha GPC, the amount matters. Don't just get some alpha GPC and take whatever is on the bottle. Very often, those supplement companies, they're very cheeky and trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do, but they put some dosage that is not effective. And then, I don't know, they expect people to just take it and never get better. I don't know what's up with that, but the amount that is recommended is 300 milligrams, 3-4 times per day, depending on your diet and your personal needs. You might increase, decrease it, but that amount is totally safe. What is not safe is taking 10 and 12 grams. That can come with side effects. But in the dosages that I state here, 300 milligrams, 3-4 times per day, is effective and very safe amount. Then another supplement that's also made into acetylcholine, citicholine. There is a brand Cognizin that is often added to many nootropics and many smart drugs. Nootropics, usually that's the name. Many supplements that is also as effective, and you take the same amount, 300 milligrams, 3-4 times per day. And that's how you're gonna set up all the conditions for your nervous system, for your brain to switch from fight or flight, ready to go to rest and digest recovery mode that you absolutely need to sustainably be productive, to also enjoy your life, be your most creative, happiest self, and deliver results consistently and not burn out. Today is super windy, by the way, outside. I'm just looking at the trees and the ocean, and I hear the sound. It's like super windy. So I'm going to be doing a lot of work inside. I already did my workout and my walk. But that's just a side note. And then we recap what we learned today. So folks, if you're a very ambitious person and you're a very hardworking person, just make sure that you don't run yourself into the ground. And one part of making sure that never happens is scheduling that off time recovery activities, things like, just doing things slow, but then also spending time in nature without any, phones and social media, etc., without any stimulation. And then doing things like sauna, going for massages, doing yoga, also very recovery activity. And on top of that, make sure that your nutrition, either in form of foods or in a form of supplements, contains enough acetylcholine precursor, basically what your body can use to make acetylcholine. And that is either eating 3-4 eggs a day, every day, or taking 300-400 milligrams of alpha GPC or acetylcholine 3-4 times per day. And that's how your optimize your recovery. That's the good start. And of course, you got to do it consistently. And also when it comes to food supplementation, folks, if on some day you ate your 3-4 eggs and had pretty good diet on that day, then maybe don't take alpha GPC on that day. It also is not a stimulant, folks. It's not going to give you a big peak and crash. It can improve and will improve your ability to focus and pay attention, but it's not something that's going to, again, give you pick me up and then crash. No, that's not it. And actually, when you use the supplement, your brain, your nervous system gets better at using and creating more of acetylcholine, and you actually might need less of it to have the same beneficial effect. So it's good from whichever side you decide to look at it. So get it from food, get it from supplements, or a mix of both, and be effective with your recovery, because that's how you get super effective at going hard and long after things that matter. And this episode is driving us right into the weekend, so don't forget to get that acetylcholine or start eating eggs like your life depends on it, because it does. And don't forget to schedule some recovery activities. At least one, folks. Maybe it's going to be a 20-minute session in sauna. Maybe it's going to be a session of massage. Maybe it's going to be an hour walk in nature, whatever that is. At least one thing that is truly recovering. Schedule it. And maybe let me know what it is. Share this podcast with other people, so those other people you love, admire, and cherish can also recover effectively. And till next time, folks, recover well, stay tuned, and take your alpha GPC, because your recovery and life depend on it. Thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you very soon. Have an awesome weekend.